Protesting injustices, pursue justice, justice for life. The problem is institutional, but is it accidentally grave leadership or is it essentially chronic constitutional? Too many trees, very little forest. Too much data, not enough principle. Let's see what we can do to make whole this disarray. The 1789 US Constitution, based on the trias politica of Montesquieu, is systemically unjust to the people and obsolete by all accounts. It's high time to upgrade it with a reversal 2020 Constitution based on triada politica for justice. If we want real change, not pocket change, we need to start by updating the foundational document of our body politic. Allow me to explain the reversal constitution. Society is composed on the one hand of political society, the government, consisting solely of the legislative as first power and the executive as second power, and on the other hand of civil society, the people, composed in turn of the remaining powers, namely third power, the judicial, fourth power, news media, fifth power, the university, and so on. Society then constitutes itself into the state. While protesting is necessary, it is far from sufficient, requiring additionally proposing the solution in the pursuit of justice. There is a whole plethora of injustices which need addressing. Police brutality, racial injustice, social injustice, female injustice, sexual injustice, religious injustice, ethnic injustice, criminal, and so on. More important than fixing each and every one separately, we need to make whole our Constitution and then let things take care of themselves. There is too many trees and very little forests. Protesting will only take us so far. Today we're living in the 20s of the coronavirus and it's a repeat of the 60s. We need a comprehensive approach. Police brutality is just the micro of macro government power abuse on a daily basis under the present 1789 Constitution based on Enlightenment ideas of the second millennium. There is, of course, the argument favoring keeping the 18th century Constitution as is, just adding more amendments. It's perfect as it is, claiming that there's nothing wrong with it that Congress can't correct. It's living in denial that there isn't an essential fault underlying its very foundations due to obsolescence. Black, white, and in between. The in betweens as non-white, black dichotomy. Justice for all, starting with age of kids. Qualitatively same, however much qualitatively differing. Old normal went the way of the wind thanks to coronavirus. But what good has it brought us? Save your gunpowder to thrust rockets sky high. Save your energy. Use part in protesting and invest in proposing. Don't let go to waste the racial justice movement. Take it to the next level with a reversal constitution. Search out the root source of things. Don't be fooled by appearances into exhaustion with flashy mass news media driven changes. There was also Rousseau's concept of people as sovereign, expressed as general will in his book The Social Contract, though in those pre-industrial times civil society was barely hatching as distinct from political society which matured and dominated. The quote, trias politica model of the state of Montesquieu is composed of three powers in natural fact of government and the people as fiction. We have on the one hand political society, consisting of the three powers of the government, and on the other hand civil society, the people and other entities as background of vestiges of rights. The legislative represents the collective population, the executive, the individual population, and the judicial guaranteeing justice to the people. By contrast, the quote, triada politica model of paradise reshuffles the players into a level playing field arrangement. In terms of political and civil society, it would have the legislative and executive powers as comprising political society as branches of government, all the while the judicial power alongside the entities comprising civil society in the People's Institute of Powers and Rights. In our knowledge-driven age, it is good to assign the seat of crystallization to the university, college, and school, as well as a charge of nucleating into the Universal People's Institute of Civil Society. Its first member would be the chip of the old block of the judicial power, though no longer branch of government. In the old scheme of things, it played the role of guardian of the people under the tutelage of the dual power branches. Its judges were proposed by the executive and approved by the upper house of the legislative, the Senate. In this new scheme of things, it will play guardian of the people under the auspices of the university. The making of the 1789 U.S. Constitution were pre-industrial times. Civil society was in diapers. Not so now. It's growing to maturity, all the while political society has moved on to old age. Economic growth is driven by research and development at the university, and with digitalization, the news media pretty much has our minds occupied most of the time. A quick recap of things regarding nomenclature. At present, within the old 18th century scheme of things, the breakdown of powers is as follows. First power, legislative; second power, executive; third power, judicial, legally speaking; and factually, fourth power, news media; fifth power, the university. In the new scheme of things of the Reversal Constitution 21st century, we will now have the following. In the category of civil society, first power, Universal People's Institute, comprised by the university, the judicial, news media, education, and all other entities under the catch-all net. In the category of political society, we would have second power, legislative; third power, executive, as power branches of government. In hindsight, we have to understand that this Ameriversal Constitution is but an app to make whole our political system. What I'm driving at is that our world is comprised of many systems. There's the political, social, economic, cultural, ethnic, and so on, too numerous to list. Yes, we need to turn the page of history of the crisis of civilization by inauguration of a new era. We need to pursue justice for life, but not by combating against one and every form of injustice, which is a never-ending story, like chopping a head at a time of the Medusa. The Reversal Constitution is a great start, but we need to take it to the second level floor of things, to the generic, from the multiplicity of specifics. Just like we jumped from multiple political injustices to the People's Institute with the Universal Constitution, likewise, from multiple injustices, racial, social, criminal, and so on, we need to jump to the non-messianic age. This opens a whole new chapter in human history. We must be held accountable for our actions as humanity. This we must now address if we're ever to effectively move towards the future and not roll back downhill. This episode serves as transitional between earthly success and celestial salvation, to which we'll now turn. Home is where the heart is, and if house is home, then earthly success is joy, never mind heavenly salvation. But if not, then this concern we must now address without further delay. Well, that's all, people. Yours truly, Rick, your Charro Anusim, and GD Bless. Austin, Texas, capital of the world.